I'm walking the bull, go, out for the. Out for the
3, 2, 1, 0.
Every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, GPKJunky and myself do a Twitter Spaces for around an hour and a half, and we cover a different topic. And he makes these really, really cool, high-level infographics that you could look at while we talk. So it helps with the visuals. Sometimes when we talk about these technical components and things that are harder to understand on the surface, you could look and it breaks it down better. We're going to go over the Dapp ecosystem that exists now with Pangolin, Enosis, Blaze Swap, and what to expect in the future. How there's going to be dApps on Flare, and then there's going to be dApps that build with Flare, so cross-chain. So things like the relayer, things like the insurance protocol. What can we expect going forward, and how FLR plays its role, and SGB? Because sometimes there's no way to dumb things down, because we're at the frontier. And when you're at the frontier of a new technology and a new financial system, it's complex. Because we're at the same pace where institutions are. They have no additional information that we don't have, because we have the internet. And blockchain and Web3 have the internet. The internet didn't have the internet. And now we got things like AI exploding. Remember, Flare and the co-founders are all machine learning masters and quantum machine learning doctorates. So this is their field, and their background is data and AI. So just know that with the whole boom that's going on, you see a lot of things hyping and all this, but data is at the heart of what AI is. You need a ton of data, and this is why they're doing all the indexing. Like, there's a ton of work right now being done with the attestation client, and the final piece to standing that up with a stake connector. Once that is complete, then we will see the dApps really launch on Songbird. And we're going to talk about this Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. We're going to go over the Dapp ecosystem that exists now with Pangolin, Enosis, Blaze Swap, and what to expect in the future. How there's going to be dApps on Flare, and then there's going to be dApps that build with Flare, so cross-chain. So things like the relayer, things like the insurance protocol. What can we expect going forward, and how FLR plays its role, and SGB? Because there was just a great article that came out, and it quoted Hugo as saying, Songbird could turn into this high-powered layer 2. And we know how layer 2s have exploded. If you haven't looked or been living under a rock in the crypto, the layer 2s on Ethereum have exploded. The Arbitrium airdrop's going on now. So optimism. Coinbase building on that with Polygon. Like, layer 2s have exploded. So that's a really interesting scenario for Songbird to slot into that. Now, we don't know if that's definitely going to happen, but it seems like a logical place for Songbird to slot into. And remember, Flare has on their roadmap, and it's on Pangolin's actual light paper for PFL and their website. And it's in multiple spots that they're building a constellation of horizontally scaled multi-chains. So what does that mean? That means multiple networks. So we can have other Flare networks using the same FLR token that have state connectors, that could then have two-sided state connectors with different virtual machines. So instead of Ethereum smart contracts, we have a whole different, we could have WASM. We could have digital asset like capital markets, virtual machines, customized ones for all different use cases that all connect and make this constellation. So that would make a multi-chain, and that's different than cross-chain. So just like the XRP ledger is going to have side chains, that's a multi-chain. They're all based on the same underlying protocols. And then you connect the multi-chains to each other, and then we get this big web built out. And that's what we're seeing on all networks. Everything from Avalanche with subnets, Polkadot with parachains, Cosmos with the app chains and Cosmos SDKs, Near with the app chains, Polygon with Supernets, Optimism with their, whatever they want to call it, Superchain. Everyone has a term, but the concept is still the same, is that they want to build out horizontally. And Ethereum can't really scale horizontally. That's why they're scaling at layer 2. So scaling horizontally first and then upwards. Now, that's why Songbird slots in as a great execution environment for being a high-powered layer 2. And that creates more applications. It's applications, and then the compliances, the KYC verification, decentralized identity, tokenization, and bringing on real-world assets that are going to matter. And those happen in the higher layers where it's not down at the blockchain layer. Not everybody in the world is going to know they're using the FlareNetwork or the XRP Ledger or the Root Network. They're not going to know. Just like Root Network integrating with FIFA. Those people who play this FIFA game with AI and everything, they're not going to know they're on a blockchain. But underneath it, that's what it's going to utilize. And that's the key. And then there's something called account abstraction. I'm not going to go into it now, but you're going to hear that word more and more and more. If you listen to a recent Hugo interview with Atomic Wallet, he brought it up right at the end. Account abstraction. That is the key to solving this private key. And I've been saying it for a while. Your hardware wallets and your private key are going to be archaic like dinosaurs. The idea of just having a private key that's going to, if you lose it, you lose all your assets, is not going to work for the masses and even for crypto to be adopted larger to 1 billion users. So account abstraction is something I'm going to do a dedicated video on. But it's just a term that solves the problem of the private key, and it allows you to customize your account to where you could have multi-factor authentication, you could have social recovery, you could customize it any way you want. And that's based on EVM-based networks. Now, Ripple and XRP Ledger will probably have their own. It's basically giving you a programmable wallet. That's what it is. Now think with AI, what is it in 2-3 years? A AI assistant programmable wallet that could manage your finances for you? Probably. That's where we head into. But we have to look at it. You have an account on the blockchain. A wallet is just the access to that account. So the user interface and all that will get better and better and better. So we still keep and manage the decentralization, and that's core to all of this. And for Flare and for XRP Ledger to grow more decentralized, more robust, because the blockchains are not going to be regulated. There's no regulations that go into the protocols. The protocols exist because nobody can change them. They're there. They're just like the open internet. And the more robust and decentralized Ethereum gets, Flare gets, XRP Ledger, Polkadot, every network gets more and more robust. They just turn into the global financial system. And that's a natural progression.
I'm walking the bull, go. Out for the
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.